I love more than cuddling up with my kitty cats. Nearly 70% of the country now owns a pet. Did you know that? In a new book called Pet Nation, pet health advocate Mark Cushing shares how far our furry friends have come in changing our lives.
Cats came to the U.S. on ships as sanitary workers. They had one job: kill rats and mice so that the food and the wine didn't get destroyed. And then East Coast cities and Midwest cities used them as their public sanitation tool for about 50 years. And they roamed, and then they were fired unceremoniously and mass euthanized. They turned into pests in the public eye. And here we are, 2021. We have probably 90 to 100 million pet cats treated like, Persian kings and queens that they think they are. They've made quite a change. They've made quite a change.
And it is incredible to think about that, how the human struggle, as things have gotten easier with technology, it has opened the door for us to be able to welcome these animals as part of our families. And you call pets the most powerful engine for social capital. Let's talk about that.
Well, it sounds like an academician's phrase, social capital of pets. And what social capital means is what builds a community, what strengthens a community or a neighborhood, what makes people less fearful, less anxious, more trustworthy, more engaged. And a study was done, Amity, in Perth on the western edge of Australia, which is a city that looks a lot like San Diego. And they went into 3 neighborhoods, and they weren't trying to prove whether it was churches, sports, schools, whatever, built community. And of course, what was number one? Pets. And people were so surprised by that I was part of a group that replicated the study in Portland, in San Diego, and in Nashville. Same result. Even in the Bible Belt in Tennessee, it wasn't churches, it was pets. And if you think about it, 2 strangers walking down a street in downtown Seattle or Bellevue, wherever, typically won't even make eye contact. There's almost a sense of it's bad decorum to do that. And they may say hello, but probably not. Mm-hmm. 2 people with dogs on a leash will stop and talk 10, 15 minutes. They'll know everything about the pets. They won't ask them, where do you live? How much money do you make? What kind of car do you drive? Are you a Seahawks fan? They won't do that, but they'll know everything about the pets, and they'll leave in a better mood. They'll leave a little bit safer, perhaps? Yes, they're not a stranger to everyone. And that's the social capital. And I think you combine that with the human animal bond about how people feel better around pets.
Yeah.
Medically better. Your oxytocin goes up, which makes you happy, and your cortisol goes down, and it makes you tense and anxious.
Yeah.
So
it's so true. You are absolutely right, especially in areas where we because of the weather, we don't get out much. So when we do, and it is related to pets, I have noticed that we need to get our cats walking more so the cat people can also interject and connect with each other. What worries you when it comes to pets and pet policies on trend in this nation?
I think the biggest challenge right now with pets, and I know you're experiencing it in Seattle and any major city in the country, is we have a shortage of veterinarians and vet nurses. And people, you're hearing stories and anecdotes, and you probably have covered this, where people are waiting 2 days to get into an emergency clinic. Mm-hmm. Now, if you make people wait 48 hours to get into an emergency clinic, you're no longer an emergency clinic.
No.
That's the point. And it's a chronic issue. And so the millennials and the Gen Zs that own right now about 60% of all pets in this country want a human scale and human quality level of pet health care. They want the same thing for their cat or their dog as they have for themselves. That's a great problem for the industry to have, but the industry wasn't ready for it.
So are we better people because of the way we treat our pets today? Are we more empathetic?
I don't think there's any question, and here's why. The pet surge in ownership and paying attention and spending money, as you suggest, maybe on some silly things too, that surge occurred and was partly tied to social media and the technology of social media becoming so common to people. And what was that trade-off? Well, people basically were isolating themselves, as we've all seen, right? Where, you look at a dinner table and 6 people are at the table and they're all looking at their smartphone, right? and they're all communicating with somebody that's not at the table. Not necessarily a great experience.
Right.
And pets pull people out of that. Pets pull people into a community. They want to show off their dog. It's fun, and I think it takes folks. It makes them more comfortable and makes them more connected. And you have someone in Olympia on a social media club with somebody in Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
Because they both have Maine Coon cats, and they can't wait to see pictures. And you know what? How does that make them anything but a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more comfortable? And that's a good thing.
It is indeed so true. We are better people because of our pets.